How are you? What up, Tiny? Happy Sunday. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, boss. Happy Sunday. How are you? Boss, if you do not already have, please go and grab your water. Y'all know we is a water drinking group now. Happy Sunday, boss. Hello, hello, hello. If you do not already have your water, please go and grab your water so we can get into these goals. Happy Sunday, boss. B, what's one of your 2026 hair goals? I'm putting you on the spot now, ain't it? Hey, boss. Happy Sunday. B, what's one of your 2026 hair goals? Hey, Linda. Linda, if you're gonna stay with us for a while, please go ahead and grab your water, boss. While we hit this live. Hello. Happy Sunday. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Natalie. Happy Sunday, boss. Facebook, YouTube. We're gonna get started in a second. Excuse me. Consistency and retention. that consistency part, that's the hardest piece. That's the hardest piece. Hey, boss. Happy Sunday. I feel like I haven't seen anybody for real in real life, unless you hopped on one of these like impromptu lives. Happy New Year. Are we almost ready? Okay. While there's still a few of us in here and we're waiting for other people to come in, can you do me a favor, please? Yes or no? Facebook, YouTube, can you do me a favor, please? Yes or no? I know y'all used to watching the replays. Hey, Tamika. I know y'all used to watching the replays, but this is me in real life asking you for a favor. Can you do me a favor, please? Can you drop your name and tell the people where you're from? And if you're new here, excuse me, or if you're an OG, hey Natalie, can you drop your name and where you're from, Natalie, and then tell the people if you're new or if you're an OG. If you're new around here, you've been rocking with us for less than a year. If you're an OG, you've been rocking with us for more than a year. Hey boss, hi YouTube, hey Facebook. Hey Shakita. Shakita, can you tell the people your name, where you're from, and if you're new or if you're an OG? Today, here's what we're going to do tonight. Before we wrap this live up, before I get up off of here, I am going to give you guys a guide. Some of you may have already, some of you may have already received it and also started using it. But I am going to give you a guide on what your wash day can look like. Throughout this live, I am going to be talking consistently about how important balance is, right, between moisture and protein. B, what's your name? Tell people your name. I'm going to be talking consistently about the importance of balance between moisture and protein. And so we created a guide to show you what your wash day could look like in a month based on your hair type. Excuse me. And then what I recommend for you as a stylist. Hey, Tamika from BK. And you guys are going to get that guide before we wrap up and get up off of this live. Does that sound okay? In exchange for this, hey, Christina. In exchange for this, well, first let me ask you: does anybody need that guide? Because maybe you don't need it. Maybe you already know what your wash day should look like. In the guide, I'll tell you what's in the guide. In the guide is when you should be shampooing and conditioning, right? And what you should be using on that particular, or suggestions on what you should be using on that particular wash day based on where you are in the month and based on your hair type, right? So if you have fine hair, you need to be using Hey, Marquis, if you have fine hair, you need to be using a little bit more protein. And so the guide tells you what that should look like. If you have medium hair or if you have coarse hair, the guide tells you what kind of wash day that should look like for you. In the winter in particular, okay? This is specifically for in the winter. It's not for all year round. So tell me if you feel like that's helpful. Oh, I love Exquisite Gym Studios. Okay. We want the guide. We want the guide. It also talks about like deep conditioning on the guide. It talks about hey Miss Heat. It talks about deep conditioning on the guide, and it talks about doing like applying hot oil on the guide. Hey Rachel. Hey Abigail. Abigail, if you're gonna be staying with us for a little bit, please go and grab your water. And Abigail, tell the girls your name, where you're from, and if you're new or if you're an OG around here. Okay, so if we feel like the guide is going to be helpful, here's a couple of things. I'm going to ask two things from you, please. Two things from you, please. And when you're ready to hear my two requests, just type "what is it" in the comments. What is it? When you're ready to hear my two requests, just type "what is it" in the comments. Hey, Rachel from Ohio. Abigail, I'm so good. How are you? If when you what, Natalie said, "What is it?" Okay, Latasha. Okay, here's the thing. Two things. Here two things. When I send you this guide, you have to use the guide. When I send you this guide, Marquita, don't be sassy. When I said Natalie, and you know I had to say it. You know I had to say it because I know you. Right? When I send you this guide, hey Nini, when I send you this guide, you have to use the guide. We were on here yesterday or the day before yesterday. We were on here either yesterday. Hey, Miss Barksdale. We were either on here yesterday or the day before yesterday, and two of the boss ladies was like, "Yo, the guide has been so clutch." Hello, I want to help you. I want to help you. So I'm happy to send you the guide, and it's free of cost, right? I'm not going to charge you a dime. I'm only going to charge you your time. Hey Angela, I'm only going to charge you your time. It's free of charge, the guide. Okay. So that's one piece. When you get the guide, when I send you the guide, use the guide. Okay. And the other thing is who we are about to embark in a lot of information here, right? I want to help as many women on this live as I absolutely can. So that means at some point, I'm going to suggest a product, a service or a product. Okay. Throughout this live, I am going to be suggesting a product and or a service to you. Okay. With your hair's best interest at heart, I want you to consider, okay, consider putting it in your shopping cart. Okay, putting it on your wish list, your to-do list, what the products that we talk about and the services that are offered throughout this live in exchange for my time. I'm asking you to to at least promise to put it in your cart, the products that we're talking about, and or the services to put it on your wish list. Are we all on the same page? If we are, comment ready so we can get started. Angela said, I want the guide. You yap. I want the guide. Are we ready? At some point, I'm going to sell something to you on this live, okay? So as to not be disappointed, this is your time to hop off, okay? At some point throughout this live, I'm finna sell you something. We're gonna learn a lot. Hey Marie, we good? Not guide me, please. Shakita, you listen. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Okay, Shakita's already over here acting up. Abigail, I mean, Alicia ain't been on here in a minute. I'm sorry, Abigail. Shakita taking her place over here, wilding. Okay. All right. So I have questions, right? Because we were supposed to come here with our 2026 hair goals, right? Abigail, we'll figure that out in another way. Okay. We were supposed to come here with our 2026 hair goals. How many of us already know what our 2026 hair goals are? Sorry, before we get started. Hey, boss, for anyone who doesn't know, hey, boss, my name is Ebony K. I'm the owner of Texture Press. And what I do is teach women every single thing I know about healthy hair. My only wish, right, before I leave off God's green earth, excuse me, is that you have more confidence by way of the information that I give you. Because having healthy hair is really simple. Although the world keeps telling us that it's not, having healthy hair is really simple. Okay. Okay. Um, who's okay? Rochelle has her 2026 hair goals. I'm sorry, is Rochelle the only one? Rochelle, you will get a one-on-one virtual consultation if nobody else on here has their 2026 hair goals. Is that what we're doing? Okay. Thank you, Christina. Rochelle, girl, you was about to get that VIP treatment, girl. Rochelle is the only one. Simone, Simone, tell me more about what your Simone. Tell me more about your 2026 hair goal to keep more hair in your head. Natalie, Christina, yeah. B, what is your 2026 hair goal? Latasha, tell me what hair. What tell me what healthy hair looks like to you, Latasha. And Rochelle, can you tell me what your 2026 hair goal is? Hair goals are? Abigail, can you tell me where your hair where does your hair stop now, Abigail? Growth and retention. Hair health, maintaining moisture, retaining length, less breakage, length retention, menopause has changed my hair. Angela, girl. Angela, have you set with an endocrinologist or your PCP to talk about what hormone supplements, if they would be beneficial to you? Length retention, I want to grow my hair back. Rochelle, where does your hair hit now? Retaining something, less breakage. Marquita, are we experiencing a lot of breakage now? Thicker, more fuller hair. So Abigail, that's your to-do list. That ain't a goal, girl. But my daughter has different textures for me, keeping it. And right now, it's at your collarbone, Rochelle. Rochelle, what's the longest your hair has ever been? Postmenopausal. I was thinning and breaking, but not with your guidance. It's retaining, but now with your guidance, it's retaining length, and I want to keep this pace that I have. Okay. AGG. Mid back is what we're pushing for. Okay. Okay. So I have questions for anybody. Excuse me. For anybody who has a length goal, we're gonna start there. We're gonna start with our length goals. Are we ready? We'll go over length goals, right? Easy maintenance, right? A couple of the boss ladies were talking about being able to maintain their hair at home and hair health, right? Hair maintenance and hair health. We're going to talk about that in one. We're going to talk about length retention goals, and then we'll talk about menopause, right? Let me make sure I have this so I don't forget. We're going to talk about our length goals. We'll talk about length or length retention goals. We'll talk about length, and then we'll also be talking about menopause, and we'll touch on healthy hair. I just want to write this down so that I make sure that I don't miss anybody's talking point. We can go over those three. Does that sound good? Does that sound good, y'all? We'll talk about menopause. right? The body changes. We'll talk about well, the body changes and how it affects your hair. We'll talk about menopause. We'll talk about healthy hair maintenance, and then we'll also talk about, excuse me, length retention for growth goals. Does that sound good? Yes or no? Instagram? Yes or no? Sounds good. We're good. Okay. And um maintenance. Okay, let's go over length first. Okay. We'll go over length first. Does hair plateau? Do we think that hair plateaus? Do we think that at some point our hair is really just not growing anymore? I agree, Abigail. I agree, Rochelle. In part. Right? Hey Angela, in part. Here's what I've seen most consistently. Okay. There is a certain point where your hair slows down, right? Where the growth is not as rapid as it used to be. It due to an influx in hormones, right? Your hormones directly affect what's going on with your hair. Okay, so uh, when we're talking about menopause, when we're talking about um, length retention, all of that is directly connected to what happens to your body and your hormones, right? If you have not already, you absolutely should be at least sitting with and talking to your physician about if we if we're sitting with my brain want to say a hairstylist, but it's we're sitting with our PCP annually, right? And you feel as though like your hair is either breaking, it's consistently the same length, which does not mean that it's not growing, but it does mean that you're not retaining length, right? So maybe you're sitting with a stylist, you've been working with a stylist for a while, and for whatever reason or reasons, we're consistently at the same length, right? One of the first things that I would be talking to you about in the salon, if you were a client of mine at Texture Press, is do we have any issues with a hormone imbalance and or vitamin or mineral deficiencies, right? Your body's health directly affects your hormones directly affects your hair, right? Your hair is always growing, but whether or not you're retaining length is going to be another thing. So even when we talk about longer lengths, right? I have some clients who have been with me for a while. Some of them came to me with hair that was long already, but for even the clients that I'm helping them retain more length, get, growing hair is not usually the problem, right? If we have an issue with our hair growth being significantly slower than what we're used to, first point of contact would be sitting with a physician. How many of us have talked to our PCPs about our hair issues, challenges? When you have breakage, do you talk to your physician when you notice your hair thinning? Do we talk to a physician? 100%, Angela. Oh yes, 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 Rachel. When we're having issues with our hair, are we having conversations with our PCP? Yes, no? Okay, maybe not. That's on the list, on your list of concerns, B should absolutely be what's going on with your hair, right? When you notice the decline in growth that you can think back to, right? When is it that you notice a decline in growth? You have no idea how many clients I've had conversations with, excuse me, and iron deficiency. right? Or a medication that they're taking is causing hair thinning, hair breakage, right? Iron, usually vitamin D are the biggest culprits. Zinc, we don't talk about enough, but that is a huge culprit to you not seeing growth the way that you're used to. And also, what? What? Simone, when did you start your supplements? When did you start taking your supplements? At 100%, Christina. 100%. I say so. Christina says, hair is one of the first indicators of health. Your hairstylist, your esthetician, and your nail tech. If all three of us have you and your hair, you have your best interest at heart, we're going to be paying attention to changes in any one of these three areas. Your hair, your skin, or your nails are one of your first indicators that something is not right with your body. V says iron was her culprit. An iron deficiency, a zinc deficiency. Have you noticed a difference, Simone? Simone has been taking vitamin D or iron. Simone's been taking vitamin D supplements for 4 months now. Hey Wanda, have you noticed a difference in your hair, Simone? Thank you, Abigail. Outside of vitamin deficiencies and your hormones being off and those things directly affecting your hair growth, not being hydrated enough is also going to be one of the ways that not drinking enough water. Exactly, Aaliyah. Not drinking enough water, not being hydrated enough, excuse me, is also going to lend its hand to how quickly your hair grows and how much hair you're able to keep on your head. Why does water matter when we're talking about how much hair you're able to keep on your head? Because the less hydrated your body is, the less overflow of oils or sebum your body can naturally make, so that it's naturally creating not only feeding your scalp and your hair, feeding your follicles, excuse me, and your hair, but also making sure that your hair has enough lubricant, right? We all have a concern with our hair being dry. It starts with drinking enough water, okay? It starts with drinking enough water. Outside of sitting with a physician, the one thing that you can do on your own right now, on this live right now, Rochelle, okay? Natalie, if length was your goal, you should be having water in front of you, okay? If your body is dehydrated, it could care less about your hair, right? It's not, there's no overflow to give. So your body being dry is going to lead to both a dry scalp, which leads to dry hair, and dry hair leads to, if you're not drinking enough water, if you're not hydrated enough, your body will be dry, which means that your scalp will be dry, which means that your hair will be dry. And dry hair leads to, thank you, Abigail. Thank you, V. Dry hair leads to breakage. So you want to stop your and or reduce your breakage. The first thing you could do right now is start to increase your water intake. What does that look like? Now, Kita is on this live. Thank you, Natalie. Kita is here on this live with us. She's not a fan of drinking too much water. She actually gives me some pushback when we talk about it. That was the last time. Okay, last time me and Kita saw each other, she was giving me some pushback. She didn't really want to drink no water like that, right? We've turned over a new leaf. She told me we've turned over a new leaf. Excuse me, which I'm grateful for. But drinking more water is 100% going to reduce your breakage. What does drinking more water look like? Drinking more water could look like, okay, so let's say we'll use Rochelle as an example. So let's say Rochelle is currently, she might get through one 16-ounce bottle a day, right? Now, the average adult should be drinking at minimum 64 ounces of water every single day. But let's say Rochelle is here, she's at her one 16-ounce bottle. Okay. Marquita's here. Marquita's. Latasha, I drink coconut water. Says I drink coconut water. Coconut water is good. Okay. But you also need to be drinking regular water, right? And also clock how much coconut water versus regular water you're drinking. We can't live on coconut water alone. It has a great amount of electrolytes, which is really helpful to hydration. But the the vitamins and minerals that you get from just plain water are essential as well. But let's say Rochelle is stuck at drinking just one 16-ounce bottle of water a day. So for Rochelle, if she was sitting in our chair and we were having a conversation about her hair goals, length retention, growth is one of her goals for 2026. One of the things that I would be pushing her to do, let's get from one 16-ounce bottle, let's get from one 16-ounce bottle to two 16-ounce bottles every single day for the next 15 days. For the next 2 weeks, you drink 2 bottles of water every single day for the next 2 weeks, right? Hey, Raphael, we do that. And then me and Rochelle are going to move on, right? After that 15 days is up, we're going to incrementally increase how much water she intakes, right? Until we get to 64 ounces. I am that dare anyone ask you, right? Not just me, but dare anyone ask you to go from like not really drinking water like that, one bottle every once in a while, to 64 ounces of water. That's not realistic, right? That's not a sustainable goal anyway. It is realistic, but it's not a sustainable goal, right? Small increments. So if you're drinking just 32 ounces of water on average in a day, I want you to do 32 ounces of water every single day. If you're just averaging, because average means that we're drinking a little less, maybe we're drinking a little more, but sometimes we're drinking a little bit less, right? My request to you would be 32 ounces of water every single day. So if you're at around 32 ounces, increase it, and you're doing that daily, increase it by 8 ounces. Let's get you to 40 ounces every single day, right? Small incremental changes make a much bigger impact than trying to do it all at once. Because what happens is you get frustrated with yourself when you don't do it, right? If you go from drinking two 16-ounce bottles of water every day to wanting to jump to 64 ounces of water every single day, you're going to be frustrated and feel defeated when it doesn't happen and give up on the goal altogether. Whereas if you do small changes, right, every couple of weeks, small changes, increase how much water you drink, small changes, right? That will lead you much closer, excuse me, to being successful with being more hydrated and having drink more water, right? Drinking more water, sitting with a physician and bringing your hair concerns to your physician and seeing if there are any. You want a full extensive blood panel. Hey, Deidre, you want a full extensive blood panel the next time you sit with your PCP, and you want a breakdown of where your levels are at, and for an adult that looks like you, where should your levels be? And if you're not at the top of where your levels should be, right? If you're just within range, but you're at the lower scale, your goal for 2026 is to increase your levels to make sure that you are well above average when it comes to your range for vitamins. Okay, so some of the boss ladies on here are already taking their vitamin D because that was an issue to their hair goals, and also iron, right? You can take a multivitamin, but a multivitamin does not have enough of each vitamin to really make an impact. Okay. Some of us are vitamin B deficient. We think we're depressed whole time. Vitamin B12 is in the toilet. Some of us think we're depressed whole time. Vitamin D levels are in the toilet. Speak with your physician about what's going on with your hair, because it's a direct indicator to what's going on with your body. Hey, Tabitha. Okay. Drinking more water, making sure that your vitamins are on par, making sure that you are consistent with your trim schedule is going to lend to your length retention goals. If I'm asking you to trim more consistently, right? If I am asking you to trim more consistently, how does that lend itself to your hair goals of length retention anyway? How does trimming more consistently help with length retention? Latasha, Shakita, I don't know it's a totally acceptable answer around here. Just please don't make me talk to myself. There we go, Latasha. Yes, but why does that matter? Why does it matter to reduce your split ends, Abigail? Why does getting rid of the previous split ends, Rachel, matter to your length goals? As well as damage ends? Okay. Here's what happens when a little split goes unattended, right? Exactly, Abigail. Exactly what Abigail said. Abigail says, excuse me, the travel up the hair shaft. So the more it splits, because we don't have a product that is able to repair split ends or get rid of. We don't have a product that is able to repair or get rid of split ends, right? So you have to cut it. But if you leave your split ends unattended, just what Abigail said, it's going to travel up the hair shaft, travel up the hair shaft. And what happens, the bigger that split is, or the more cracks on the hair strand that you get, right? We've got to trim at the top of the split. We've got to trim at the top of the split. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? 100%, Miss 49, Michelle's 49. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, Monique, we're good now. Deirdre, we're good. Okay. You want to be consistent with your trim schedule because you do not want the very tip of your split ends to travel up the hair shaft, excuse me, and create an increase of where you have to be cutting and or trimming. Okay? Trimming consistently, guess what else trimming consistently does? Juanita, can you guess what else trimming consistently does? Soraya. Soraya, did you send that email? Guess what else guess what else happens when you are consistent with your trim schedule? You're really able to read whether or not on that wash day, yes, 100%, it makes for easier maintenance. Okay, when you have a bunch of split ends, here's how one of the boss ladies describes it. She's like, yo, every time my every time my hair get the busting up in the shower. That's a Caribbean girl for you. Every time my hair get the busting up in the shower, I know it's time for a trim. What does that look like? What does that sound like? Bust your hair busting up in the shower. A whole bunch of breakage and a lot more shedding than it is than you typically have, right? Because the ends are snagged. They're snagging on your comb, your brush, your when you go to finger detangle. All of that snagging increases your split ends, right? There's also a hefty amount of frustration that associates itself with hair that needs to be trimmed. Friction at the ends, 100%, Rochelle. When detangling, yes, you are increasingly more frustrated, and because you're more frustrated, you just want to get through wash day, which means you're probably not properly moisturizing, oiling. Christina, which if you are just trying to get through wash day, that means you're likely not properly paying attention to what your hair actually needs. You're ripping and running, pulling and tugging, right? Just to get through wash day because you're frustrated with how your hair is performing. Whole time you have control over what your hair does. You have control. You have control over what your hair does. Pause real quick. So many times I have women coming into the salon talking about my hair won't do this, my hair won't do that, my hair is this, my hair is that. Whoa. Whoa, Natalie. Whoa, Christina. As if your hair has a mind of its own, because it doesn't. Okay? As if your hair has a mind of its own, it's acting badly. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Hair is reactive. She will react and respond to you in a way that is way more beneficial to you, wash day, and your nervous system if you just listen to her. If you think your hair is bad, if you think your hair is this, if you have negative things to say about your hair, it is 100% a reflection of how you treat and or care for her. Now, maybe the way that you treat or care for your hair is because there's been a lack of information. right? Maybe the way that you care for your hair is, or the what little you know about caring for your hair has way more to do with the fact that no one has shown you or trained you how to do so. But in general, she is 100% reactive to the things that you do. Okay, the way that you do treat her, the way that you don't treat her, all of that is reflective on what care it is that you are willing to invest in your hair. Okay, being consistent with your trim schedule is also going to make it easier for you to be able to identify Rochelle, Juanita, Christina, Abigail. It'll make Natalie. It'll make it 100% easier for you to be able to identify when your hair needs moisture versus protein. Now, we got some OGs on here. What's the importance of giving your hair moisture if you're an OG? Marquita, we know now. No? Kita? If you're an OG on here, tell some of the new girls what the benefits of using moisture is on wash day. Tell me more. How does moisture lend itself to healthy hair? Yep. Creating a lubricant, right? Creating a lubricant, excuse me, between your hair and a comb, your hair and the outside elements helps prevent breakage. It helps you hold products and styles better. Right. But Monique, tell me why. Tell me why hydration is important. Tell me why. Okay, Shakita, but tell me how. Tell me how moisture helps prevent breakage. How does that happen? I don't know is a totally acceptable answer around here. I mean, I would prefer that you try. It makes hair more soft, 100%. It makes hair more soft, it makes hair more flexible, right? And when your hair is more flexible, right? It's not doing this. It's not stiff. It's not brittle. Elasticity, 100%, 100%, Rachel. When your hair is soft, it is more flexible instead of it doing this. When hair is more flexible, that makes it easy for when you go to braid it. Hey, Stace, when you go to braid it, when you go to detangle it, when you go to twist it, right? It makes it that much easier for your hair not to resist you. Hair that is brittle, hair that is stiff is easy to do what? 100%, Simone. 100%, Simone. Exactly. It also does help with curl definition. 100%, boss. When hair is stiff and brittle, it's easy to do what? When hair is stiff and brittle, it's easy to do what? There we go, Shakita. So that's why you want to maintain the moisture in your hair, because you don't want it to be stiff and brittle. You want it to be flexible. You want it to have elasticity, right? We complain often about shrinkage, but shrinkage is a sign of healthy hair. Yes, Natalie? Shrinkage is exactly, Rochelle. Snap off, right? Hair that is stiff and brittle is 100% much more susceptible to breakage. Okay? We cry and fuss about shrinkage, but shrinkage is a sign of healthy hair. You want that elasticity. You want that curl back. You want that texture. It also helps increase your shine. The more moisturized your hair is, the more flexible it is, the more shiny it is, the much better, excuse me, we feel about managing, maintaining, and manipulating, excuse me, our hair ourselves, right? That is those are just a few of the importances of making sure that hair is moisturized. So any of the OGs, teach the new girls, why is protein important? To any of the OGs, tell the new girls why protein is important or essential to maintaining the health of your hair. Mo, happy Sunday. I want you to know that you are missed. Yes, but why does strength matter, Natalie? Why does strength matter? Yes, protein is going to strengthen your hair, but tell me why that matters. Okay, Tiny, tell me why strengthening your hair is important. Tell me why that matters. Hey, Chanel. Protein helps with elasticity, it helps with shine. Yes, but Marquita, tell me why strength matters. Why does that matter? Protein does boost elasticity 100%. Here's why that matters, okay? Here's why protein matters. Your hair, if you are using too much moisture, your hair can go from being easy to move to not being easy to manage, right? She's flimsy, she's flopsy, not easy to manage. Hey boss, not easy to manage. That's what too much moisture will do. Too much moisture will make it so that your hair is so soft that it's now flimsy. It has no dexterity, no elasticity. You lose that. Okay? It becomes limp. 100%, Abigail. Too much moisture can also make it, because your hair is so soft, it's easy for it to split because it doesn't have any strength in there. There's no snapback. Again, it's lost its elasticity. Protein makes sure that your hair is strong, right? That when you go to detangle it, again, there's some snapback, right? You want a little bit of resistance. You don't want her to be easy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want her to be easy. You want a little bit of resistance, right? And that is what protein helps you do. If you want to be a straight hair natural, the balance between moisture and protein is going to be essential, because moisture is going to make sure that your hair doesn't dry out from the flat iron, but protein is going to make sure that your hair still has some structure. Protein is going to make sure that your hair still curls after you are consistently training it to be straight. Okay, you can so one of the boss ladies says no breaking if there is strength. If there is balance, we reduce breakage, because you can over keratinize your hair, right? I think one of the boss ladies was on here talking about that the other day. You can use too much moisture and that creates split ends. You can use too much protein and that creates split ends. Balance for your hair is essential, which is why that guide is important. Okay, so here we're going to take notes. We're going to take notes. We're going to talk about some moisture focused products and some protein focused products that I absolutely love. Okay, we're going to get our shopping carts ready. Okay, give me 1 minute, one moment. Okay, shampoos, conditioners, leave-in conditioners, both strengthening and softening, that I absolutely love. Oh, Abigail, you ready? Oh, Abigail is Abigail is out the is in the UK. Skip this one, Abigail. Skip this one, Abigail. Shakita. Oh shoot. Okay. Are we ready? Did my video freeze? Are we ready? Yes or no? Are we ready? Yes or no? I know the OGs are like, we already know what she's gonna say. This is not for the OGs then. This is for the new girls. Okay. We'll start with moisture. Okay. So my very favorite shampoo is by Care. Okay. It's their hydrating detangling shampoo. That is my favorite moisture focused shampoo. A close second is the Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo. Okay. Care's Hydrating Detangling Shampoo, Joico's Moisture Recovery Shampoo. And if you wear extensions, right? If you wear extensions often, then one of the shampoos that I like for using with extensions is Herbal Essences Hello Hydration. Okay, if you wear sew-ins, if you wear units, if you wear clip-ins often, hey boss, especially with extensions, my preference is for you to use the Hello Hydration by Herbal Essence. Okay, when we talk about maintaining moisture, oils come into play as well. Yes. When we talk about moisture, oils come into play as well. Let's talk about one of my favorites. Okay. Now, let me see. Let me think. What is this? 2026. So probably 6 years ago, right? For both, Rochelle, if you're wearing extensions for both your hair and the extension hair, I like Hello Hydration. If we're talking just about your hair, Rochelle, just your natural hair, my preference is for you to use the Carrot Hair. The carrot care can be heavy on extensions, right? If you're using both the carrot care and a conditioner and a leave-in conditioner, all of that, it can be heavy on your extensions and make your extensions feel like they're being weighed down, which is why I suggest the Hello Hydration, especially for sew-ins. Thank you, Shakita. Herbal Essences, Hello Hydration. Okay. Now, if we're talking about moisture leading to length retention, a couple of years ago, what I was finding consistently was that clients were often either doing one of two things, right? They were either heavily focused when they were in a protective style, right? So braids, twists, faux locks, etc. What they were consistently doing was one of two things. Very rarely were they doing both. They were either hyper focused in a protective style on making sure their scalp was moisturized, or they were hyper focused on doing their best to maintain the moisture on the ends of their hair, right? And for a couple of the boss ladies, for a couple of my clients around that time, what they were really heavy into was the braid spray. Have y'all ever seen like the African Pride braid spray, or who's the yellow label? Sulfur 8 braid spray. Have y'all ever seen the braid sprays? Usually it's advertised to have like aloe, water, of course. Sometimes there's excuse me, sometimes there's jojoba oil in a braid spray. Mango has a braid spray. They also have braid sprays. At this time, my clients were like, again, my clients who were doing their best to make sure that the ends of their hair were moisturized, they were using the braid sprays and or leave-in conditioners and or, water and or a water and oil solution, right? Just like making their own concoction, water-based. But every single time they come to me after having that protective style and their hair was drier, right? You could see like a white cast, right? Super white, super light on the ends of from the middle of the hair strand down to the ends usually, right? Super dry, causing us to have to do what? When hair is dry, it breaks easily, right? When it breaks easily, that means we're working against your length retention goals. So we were having to cut and or trim heavily whenever they were coming out of their protective styles. And that was defeating, right? Because they thought they were doing all of the right things. They were doing all of the right things while they were in their protective style. Two things that are going to help you retain length especially when you are in a protective style, whether it's a long-term protective style, meaning it's more than 3 weeks, or a short-term protective style, which is 3 weeks or less. Okay. A couple of things that are going to make sure that you are going to be able to retain length. When I think about, hey Jocelyn, when I think about moisture retention in a protective style, adding water daily, weekly does not seem feasible, right? When you think about moisturizing, wanting to maintain, right? Hold on to that softness, hold on to that moisture. Think about this. Can you tell me what dries faster, water or oil? Hey Jocelyn, happy Sunday, boss. Oh yeah, the Jamaican Pride brand, right? What dries faster, water or oil? What dries faster, water or oil? 100%. 100%, Miss 69. 100%, Alita. So I'm like, excuse me. Considering water is doing the opposite effect, right? Considering leave-in conditioner that is water based is doing the opposite effect, right, of what my clients are looking for, which is to moisturize their hair so that it stays more flexible, so that we don't have hair that is dry, cracking, and breaking. Use an oil, okay? Use an oil. We'll talk about what oil in a second. We'll talk about what oil in a second, but just think about that, right? Anytime you're in braids, a water-based product, water itself, is going to dry significantly faster than oil. Okay? Think about that. Now, moisture, my favorite shampoos, again, the Care Hydrating Detangling Shampoo, the Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo, and then for conditioners, my absolute favorite, y'all know, Jocelyn, what's my favorite moisturizing conditioner? Christina, what's my favorite moisturizing conditioner? Christina, you know. Oh, thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mo. I forgot she was on here. Thank you, Mo. Favorite moisture focused conditioner. That Joico Moisture Recovery Conditioner is the best I've ever used. Okay, we've been using it in the salon for 15 years. I've tried the Orbes on the higher end, right? The more luxury moisture focused products, all the way down to again the herbal essence. And the Joico Moisture Recovery Conditioner is by far the best that I've ever used. Now, with this conditioner, I do suggest that you dilute it 100%, Simone. With this conditioner, I do suggest that you add just a little bit of water to it, or apply it to your hair when your hair is wet, not just damp, but apply it to your hair when your hair is wet. When they changed the formula, they made it a lot more dense, and it doesn't work the way that it used to. When it was not as dense, just a little bit. You could just a little bit add just a little bit of water to the Joico Moisture Recovery Conditioner, and it is by far my favorite conditioner. That Care Hydrating Detangling Shampoo, in conjunction with the Joico Moisture Recovery Conditioner, is going to be a game changer for retaining moisture. Rachel says, I will say my hair has never been better using that Joico conditioner and the Care Hydrating Shampoo. Now, I ain't pay her to say that, Rachel. Don't charge me. I ain't pay her to say that. You know, Mo says the Care Hydrating Detangling Shampoo is the best she's used. Um, and it starts at the shampoo phase. Moisture retention starts at the shampoo phase. We put a lot of emphasis on our conditioners, our moisture focused conditioners. Your moisture retention starts at the shampoo phase. If you are able to have hair that is soft, flexible, also clean at the shampoo phase, just imagine how much longer your hair can stay soft for if you're using the right kinds of conditioners on top. Christina, you're fine. Especially during the cold months, which is why the guide, right, the guide that you guys are going to get at the end of class, that's why the guide is essential, especially for these winter months. What should I be doing to my hair to maintain the softness? Again, the moisture shampoos, Care and Joico. Okay, moisturizing conditioners, the Joico Moisture Recovery Conditioner. If you want to use something for your extensions, be it braids, a sew-in, or whatever, the Hello Hydration, I'm sorry, the herbal essences Hello Hydration is also incredibly helpful. Excuse me. Good for extensions for your natural hair, the Care and the Joico. Okay. Can we use both at the same time on wash day? Can you use both? Can you use both of what? Soraya. Abigail, enjoy the rest of your evening. And Abigail, if you want the guide, just DM me because I don't think that the text is going to go through to an international number. Rochelle, if you're in Canada and Canada has hard water, you need a clarifying shampoo, a kettling shampoo. Excuse me. You're so very welcome, Abigail. Rochelle, if you are in Canada, Canadian winter. I thought you said I thought that read Canadian water. Sorry, but the guide in conjunction with these products that we're talking about will change your hair. Will change your hair. Okay. Anytime we use a moisture focused shampoo and a moisture focused conditioner, what's the rule with our leave-in conditioner? Somebody teach Shakita. Rochelle, you know. Somebody teach Shakita. What is the rule when you use a moisture focused shampoo and a moisture focused conditioner? Yes, you can use both moisture shampoo and conditioner on wash day, Sarai. 100%. There we go, Rachel. Anytime you use it, there we go, Jocelyn. I have to buy the Kara. Shockingly, I still don't have that shampoo. Yeah, it's my favorite. Anytime you use a moisture focused shampoo and conditioner, you are to use a protein focused leave-in conditioner. This way, you have created balance for your hair on that wash day. You have hard water, Soraya. Some of my favorite clarifying shampoos or kettling shampoos for hard water. What's the people? K18's detox shampoo, and who do I like? Paul Mitchell. K18's uh detox shampoo, and then Paul Mitchell's shampoo 3 for hard water. Okay. Okay. Now let's say we're in protective style. What is going to be more beneficial, using a water-based product or an oil-based product? Excuse me. When we're in a protective style and we are looking to retain length, we're shampooing and conditioning our braids, and then are we using a water-based product to moisturize the ends of our hair, or are we going to be using an oil to moisturize the ends of our hair? Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you, Chanel. Why? Thank you, Black Beauty. Why? Why is that going to be what we use as opposed to a water-based product? Thank you, Rachel. How can I tell if leave-in conditioner is a protein conditioner? It'll say it on the bottle, Soraya. I use Tresemme 7X Moisture Shampoo and Conditioner. I'm glad you found what works for you, but that is not what I'm going to be suggesting. Exactly, because it's a lubricant, because it helps you retain your moisture. You want to hold it, the oil lasts longer, okay? So it doesn't dry out your hair. Dry hair leads to breakage. Breakage is 100% against your length retention goals, okay? So anytime you're in braids, a protective style, be it a long-term protective style or a short-term protective style, this is what I'm going to suggest using. Okay. Here's what it does for you. It makes it easy when you go to take, if you are using this particular product. So this is our rose gold oil. We make it by hand in-house, right? So I make this oil by hand in our warehouse. The rose gold oil makes it easier when you are using this consistently. It makes it significantly easier for you to take your braids down, for you to take your twists down, for you to take your sew-in down. Okay. It makes it that much faster for you to detangle your hair when you're done taking your protective style down, right? So it's saving you time, making it easy for you to detangle, an easier detangle process, right? Lubricated hair when you are detangling makes it easier for you to reduce how much shedding you experience and reduce how much breakage you experience. Lubricated hair when you are detangling helps reduce how much shedding you experience and how much breakage you experience. If you want to experience less shedding, if you want to experience less breakage, then what should you be doing to the ends of your hair when you are in a protective style? If you want to experience less breakage and less shedding when you detangle your hair, what should you be using? Mo says, and it smells good. It does smell like a warm hug. This is, smell it. Don't it? It just smells warm, you know? It smells warm. It smells like a hug. This is our rose gold oil. Okay. Thank you, Shakita. This is our rose gold oil. This is what we suggest clients use on the ends of their hair to maintain moisture so that this way they are reducing their breakage and reducing their shedding when they come out of a protective style. Whenever you are in a protective style, you should be using just a couple of drops of this rose gold oil, right? Just a couple of drops of this rose gold oil. You take a few sections of your braids or your twist, and you take and you squeeze your rose gold oil into the ends of your hair. Squeeze your rose gold oil into the ends of your hair. Squeeze your rose gold oil into the ends of your hair. Okay. And you only have to do this once every 7 to 10 days. 100% Marquita, use the rose gold oil on the ends of your hair. You only have to do this every 7 to 10 days to make a huge impact on the difference in your hair. Okay. You went into a protective style to retain more length because you want to give your hair a rest and you want it to grow. Make sure you're giving it an opportunity to reduce your shedding, to reduce your breakage by using an oil on the ends of your hair. Okay. Currently, the rose gold oil is sold out on our website, but at the end of this class, we're going to put it on pre-order. Okay. Using an oil at the ends of your hair to maintain moisture while you are in a protective style is going to be essential. Okay. Drinking more water consistently, being consistent with your trim schedule, right? So that this way you know when to use moisture versus protein, excuse me, is going to help you retain more length. We're not talking about growing hair, we're talking about retaining length, right? That'll help you retain more length. Making sure that you don't have any vitamin or mineral deficiencies will help increase how quickly or rapidly your hair grows. Okay. If in case though, contrary to what a lot of stylists are saying out here, and there are some boss ladies on this live, I would love for you to talk about your experience with the black magic oil. Just apply on the ends when you think it's until you think it's not your hair anymore, Rochelle. That's how you would apply your rose gold oil. Apply it to the ends of your braids until you feel like it's not your hair anymore. Just apply the oil. No leave-in conditioner, no water, just the oil every 7 to 10 days. Just the oil, Rochelle. Jocelyn, you've used the black magic oil before. Listen, I don't typically promote it as a growth oil, right? This BMO, I don't typically promote it as a growth oil. Here's what I will say is in this BMO. Here's what I will say is in this BMO that helps encourage your follicles to wake up and get to work. Okay. There's peppermint and eucalyptus in here, again, encouraging your follicles to wake up and get to work. Right. There's, in order to maintain a healthy scalp, right? We want no fungus. We want no issue. We want no issues with bacterial or with bacteria and or fungus, right? We want less itch, right? Because then that means less scarring for your scalp. So there's oregano oil and cinnamon oil to help reduce the amount of risk of fungus and to make sure that we are helping reduce the risk of scarring to the scalp because the cinnamon oil helps with inflammation. Okay. This is a product that you use on your scalp. This is a product that you use on the ends of your hair. You want to accelerate growth? You use an oil that has ingredients in it to help encourage your scalp to grow easier. Okay? You want to encourage your follicles to grow? The black magic oil is what that was intended for. The rose gold oil is how you maintain the length of your hair and or retain length. Okay. The black magic oil is made for your scalp. So there's scalp food in here, right? Peppermint, eucalyptus, cinnamon, oregano, lemongrass, lavender, uh, rosemary oil, right? Rosehip seed oil, right? To feed your scalp. That's what this is for, to feed your scalp. This is to nourish your ends. This feeds your scalp. This nourishes your ends. This encourages growth at the scalp. This helps you hold on to what you've grown. Okay. If retaining length and encouraging growth in 2026 is one of the things on your list in terms of growth, if you are looking to retain more hairs on your head, reduce the amount of shedding you experience, using an oil on the ends of your hair is going to be essential to reducing your shedding. Okay. Okay. That's all we got for length retention and growth. Okay. When we're talking about menopause, right? Because again, menopause directly affects what's going on with your body internally and can shift your hair. So that means that we could increase shedding during menopause because of the shift in hormones. That could mean that we are experiencing that could mean that we are experiencing a difference in texture, right? As we go through menopause, that could mean that we are experiencing more breakage as we go through menopause with a shift in hormones, right? So if you have a really great relationship with your endocrinologist, if you have a really great relationship with your PCP, speaking with them about ways to help you maintain balance of your hormones, which oftentimes, yes, a supplement could help, right? But making sure that you are working out, making sure that you are feeding your body things that are not going to shift your hormones is also really important. A lot of the meats, some of the dairy, some of the grains that we're eating have hormones in them already, right? And so speaking with your physician about what foods you should be steering clear of, what brands you should be steering clear of, will be helpful in making sure that you maintain a more regulated body temperature, right? And that reduces your hot flashes, maintaining a more regulated body temperature, but also making sure that you do the best that you can to maintenance or balance, excuse me, not maintenance, to balance both your estrogen and testosterone levels, okay, and progesterone. Excuse me. Not eating as much sugar, not eating as much, eating or drinking as much dairy, not eating as much yeast, right? All in an effort to make sure that you are balancing your hormones a lot better, right? Drinking more water. I am not 1,000% sure how true this is, excuse me, but two articles that I read, and then so I saw a video first, and then I read two articles on how using drinking from copper canisters copper cups can help decrease your hot flashes, the amount of hot flashes you experience. How copper works in conjunction with that, I'm still not 100% sure, but shit, it's worth a try. Okay. When we're talking about menopause and keeping your hair straightened, excuse me, and reducing how many passes you have to do, in the silk press series we talked about one of the products that I use on clients who sweat in their head and do not have fine hair. Okay. So if you have the silk press series and you are interested in using the product that I recommend for head sweaters, please also, I'm going to just restate that if your hair is fine, that's not what we're looking for. Okay. Now, when you speak with your physician about what's going on with your change in hormones and how it's directly affecting your hair, you will want to be listening for a physician who is asking you how much sleep you're getting, what your diet consists of, how much water you're drinking, and how are we maintaining stress, because all of those things again directly affect your hormones. If you want a fighting chance, as you breeze through menopause, we're going to speak it into existence. If you want a fighting chance as you breeze through menopause or perimenopause, right? Reducing stress as best as you can, that ashwagandha, okay? And let me not say everything, but the bulk of the things and I've been consistently taking ashwagandha just since January, just since the beginning of January. Not everything, but most things, it really is just like, bro, it is what it is. It is what it is. So much more, so much more of what feels like anyway a more regulated nervous system. So much more of like, not I don't care, but like if I can't change it, then I can't change it. Like, we'll figure something else out. There's always a way. There's always a way. Okay. And I do personally, for myself, I'll say for myself, in perimenopause, I do feel like it's helped me manage stress better. I'll say that it's helped me manage stress better. But I will also say that ashwagandha put you to sleep. Well, it ain't that deep, exactly, Rochelle. It ain't that deep. We'll figure something out. That ashwagandha, man, girl, Soraya, thank you for saying that because ashwagandha eats me up every time. And the fact that I spell it so wrong that my iPhone auto populate be like, girl, try again. I do the liquid. I don't take the pill for ashwagandha. I don't take the pill. I take the liquid. I when I hi Mila, I I'll post it in my stories. I don't remember what brand it is. I know where I got it from, but I don't remember what brand it is. But I take the liquid one. I don't take the pill form. The ashwagandha is good stuff, girl. But again, reducing your stress makes it a lot easier for your body to regulate its hormones. Okay. And for your maintenance goals, right? If you just want to be able to obtain and or maintain healthy hair, oh yes, and magnesium. Yes. Yes. I forgot about that. Well, actually, I did forget about it. I just haven't started taking it. The has done me justice. Okay? And sometimes your hormones are all out of whack because you're tired and dehydrated. Okay? And you've been stressed and you're tired and you're dehydrated, and that's making you stressed out, which leads you to not eating properly. 100%. That sugar will do it every time. That sugar will do it every time. I could see that having a filtered shower head reduces how many mineral deposits and lime comes in contact with your hair, Simone. So I can believe that. I can believe that. Okay. When we're talking about maintenance goals, consistency is going to be the key, right? Consistency, balance, and making sure that you have a good diet. Consistency doesn't look like it has to be constant. It doesn't look like it has to be often, but it does need to be. You need to be regimented. Your hair needs to know what it's your hair needs to be predictable. Your hair needs to be able to predict what it is coming next, right? So if on wash day, let's say Rochelle, we're just starting this journey, right? Rochelle oh, sorry. I gave y'all all my moisture focused products and didn't say nothing about the protein. Sorry. So let's talk about Rochelle having wanting to create balance for her hair, right? For better management and better maintenance at home. If we're talking about using the Keracare hydrating detangling shampoo, the Joico moisture recovery conditioner, and then a protein focused leave-in conditioner, which could be the Chi keratin mist or it could be the sexy hair core flex, right? if Rochelle notices on this particular wash day, right, that we've been using moisture a nice amount, and now we need to switch to some protein. Rochelle notices her texture is a little bit softer, the detangle process is a lot more seamless, and this happens for 2 to 3 wash days in a row, right? I would suggest then, Rochelle, right? Okay, maybe we need a little bit of resistance here, right? And so the protein focused products that I love, Sexy Hair used to be one of them when I was able to get them consistently. I'll tell you what my new favorite is, but my old favorite is the Sexy Hair strengthening shampoo and conditioner. That's really good if and or when you can find it. Something tells me that Sexy Hair is going out of business because a lot of their stock is either discontinued um or on crazy back order. But if you can find the Sexy Hair strengthening shampoo and conditioner, it's good stuff. Now, what we've switched to, I'm impressed with. And I love a brand that is not American or made in the US. Didn't grow up here. Okay? I love an international brand. European beauty standards, Asian beauty standards, they have a lot cleaner products, right? This particular product that I'm talking about, they're based in Canada, where the rules are a little bit different. V, this is what I'm talking about. The AG Vita C. AG is the brand name. Vita C is the shampoo and conditioner. Is the name of the shampoo and conditioner. That those two particular products have impressed me to the point where now we're selling it on the website. Girl, Rochelle, I'm a Bronx girly. I'm right up the block from Brooklyn, cousins, if you will. But we don't speak to each other like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Bronx girly. But I do love a brand that was not founded in the US. Okay? The AG is my favorite, or at the very least that ain't made here. AG is one of my favorites, excuse me, but so is the Sexy Hair, the protein focused shampoo and conditioner. The Vita C, the for Sexy Hair, it's the strengthening shampoo and conditioner. For AG, it's the Vita C shampoo and conditioner. If you are using a protein focused shampoo and conditioner, what kind of leave-in conditioner should you be using? Thank you, V. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you, Mo. And why? Why, Rachel? Rachel's an OG now. Hey, Miss Style Maven. Rachel's an OG now. Rachel, tell the girls why we use moisture for our leave-in conditioner if we start with protein in our shampoo and conditioner. What do you think about? I've never heard of those herbs, boss. Exactly, Rochelle. Exactly, Soraya. Tell me why, Soraya. There we go, Natalie. You want that flexibility and that strength all in one wash day. 100% V. You want that flexibility from your moisture and that strength from your protein all on one wash day. And you can do it every single wash day. Moisture in your leave-in conditioner is a super light form. Protein in your leave-in conditioner is a super light form. Excuse me. So when I ask you to use moisture and protein every single wash day, sometimes you're just going to be using it in your leave-in conditioner. Sometimes you're just going to be giving your hair a very light form of protein. In these winter months, what you'll see in the guide for that breaks down wash day, in these winter months, you still need to be using protein, but whether or not you use it in your shampoo, in your conditioner, in your leave-in conditioner, that makes a huge difference. Okay, so that you're not over keratinizing your hair. Okay, Marquita. Okay, so before Marquita, before you leave, here, for the guide, what you're going to do is you're going to text winter. Okay. Before Marquita leaves, or do you have it already, Marquita? Do you have it already? Because maybe I don't have to do this just yet. Marquita, do you already have the guide? But yes, that's gonna be the importance of creating balance for your hair, right? The moisture protein balance makes sure that your hair strand stays whole from the root to the ends, right? That's how you reduce how often you have to trim. If you don't want to be trimming consistently, maintain the balance of your hair so that this way you don't have to if you don't want to be trimming constantly, excuse me. If you don't want to be constantly having to trim your hair, then maintain the balance of your hair so that your hair strand stays whole from root to tip. Okay. A consistent trim schedule. People are often asking online, right? How often should we be trimming? How often should we be trimming? At the very least, how often should you be sitting in a professional's chair so that they can tell you if you've been doing well and can go a little bit longer between your trim, or if you need to be a little bit more aggressive with your trim schedule? At the very least, how often should you be sitting with a professional? Brooke, that's what you're gonna get in the wash day guide, Brooke. Okay. Thank you, Mo. Every 3 months. You want to at least be sitting in a professional's chair every 3 months, at the very least. Okay. So if you are like, I could do my hair myself. Like every I am not an every 8 week stylist. Why am I not an every 8 week for a trim? Why are we not doing trims every 8 weeks? Brooke, how often you shampoo and condition your hair is in the wash day guide, and I'm going to give it to you guys as we wrap up. Is that okay, Brooke? Rochelle, don't piss me off. Rochelle, Rochelle, don't piss me off. Rochelle talk about some every 3 months, maybe twice a year. Don't piss me off. Why am I against trimming your hair every 8 weeks? You hear her, Mo? Nonsense. Nonsense. Why am I against trimming your hair every 8 weeks? I don't know is a totally acceptable answer around here. Just please do not make me talk to myself. What do we There we go, Soraya. You are potentially trimming your growth. If length retention is your goal, you should not be trimming your hair every 8 weeks. If length retention is your goal, and a stylist suggests that you trim your hair every 8 weeks, you need to be challenging him or her to explain to you exactly why. Exactly. If you have maintained balance for your hair, if you have caught when your hair needs moisture versus protein, if you're following the guide and it's all working out for you, then your hair strand should be staying whole from root to tip. If you are using an oil on the ends of your hair when you are in a protective style, that will reduce how often you need to be trimming your hair in a protective style. With a protective style, excuse me. It's too often. You may not need it. 100%, Rochelle, to help retain length. 100%. Your hair needs time to grow. Okay? Give her time to hang out for a little bit. Okay? When we are talking about, so okay, we've talked about protective styles. When you're in a protective style, how long should you be keeping your protective style in? If you have fine hair, how long should you be keeping your protective style in? If you want to retain length and you have length and density for sure. For those of us who have fine hair, your goal might be length, but density is usually the primary goal, right? Hey, Nisha, if you have fine hair, how long should you be keeping your protective style in? 5 weeks is 100% the cutoff if you have fine hair. If you have fine hair, 4 to 5 weeks is 100% the cutoff. Not 5 weeks and a day. 5 weeks is your cutoff, because otherwise your hair is accumulating dirt oil, etc., the longer it stays in that structured protective style, the easier it's going to be for your hair to lock. Okay? 5 weeks is 100% the cutoff. If you have medium textured hair, 4 weeks is ideal. 5 weeks is absolutely the cutoff. Okay, 4 weeks is ideal. 5 weeks is absolutely the cutoff. If you have medium texture, if you have a medium hair type, excuse me, what how long should you be keeping your protective style in? 6 to 7 weeks. If you have really coarse hair, you ain't hear this from me. Okay, if you have really coarse hair, you can get away with 8 to 12 weeks. When you are in your protective style, how often should you be shampooing and conditioning your hair? If you have braids, twists, a sew-in, if you are wearing wigs, how often should you be shampooing and conditioning your hair? What does that wash day look like? There we go, Jocelyn. There we go. Hey, Rhonda. Facebook, YouTube, we have no idea. If you have your protective style in for 5 weeks, at 2.5 weeks, you should be shampooing and conditioning your hair. If you are wearing your protective style, if you have plans to wear your protective style for 6 weeks, you should be shampooing and conditioning your hair at week 3. Okay. If you are planning on keeping your protective style in for 10 weeks, for 12 weeks, at the very least, you should be shampooing and conditioning your hair at the halfway mark, right? So at week 5, at a month and some change, you should be shampooing and conditioning your hair. Okay. Why is it imperative that you shampoo and condition your protective style? Because you want to keep a clean scalp, right? You want to reduce buildup as much as you possibly can. Okay. In no other world, if you were not in braids, in no other world would you keep your hair dry and thirsty, right? So use an oil on your hair even when you're in a protective style. In no other world would you just want oils just sitting on top of your scalp, right? Attracting dust, attracting dirt, right? For 6, 8 weeks at a time. So especially if you're using your rose gold, especially if you're using your black magic oil to help stimulate your scalp and your follicles, especially if you are using your rose gold oil to maintain the length of the length of your hair, excuse me, while you're in a protective style, you 100% need to be using I'm sorry, need to be shampooing and conditioning your hair at the very least at the halfway point. If you are going weeks in between wash days, what's a product that you can use on your scalp to help cleanse your scalp? Not dry shampoo. To maintain a healthy scalp, even if you're going long stints in between your wash day, what is a product that you can be using on your scalp to help cleanse your scalp? 100%, Jocelyn. There we go, Rachel. What's another product? Sea Breeze, micellar water. Okay, sea breeze, micellar water, witch hazel. You can use any of those on your scalp to maintain cleanliness, to maintain a clean scalp. Excuse me. Sea breeze, exactly. The sea breeze, witch hazel, micellar water. Okay. If you are a gym girl, if you're a gym girly and you work out consistently and you have your hair in protective styles consistently, if you want to make sure that your scalp is not consistently drying out due to your perspiration, you use witch hazel, sea breeze, or micellar water. You take a cotton ball, saturate. Take a cotton ball, saturate your cotton ball with your sea breeze, witch hazel, or micellar water. You go in between your parts, or you section your hair, and do a nice, light, gentle cleanse on your scalp. Okay. Nice, light, gentle cleanse on your scalp. That'll buy you some time, but that's not actually cleanse. That's not the kind of deep cleanse that you need after weeks of using an oil on your scalp and or just perspiring. Okay, it'll buy you some time, but it's not a substitute for washing your hair. Okay. When you are in a protective style, how many times can you get a protective style to maintain the health of your hair? How often can you do a protective style to maintain the health of your hair? If Rochelle gets a sew-in today and she keeps her sew-in in for 6 weeks, when is the next time Rochelle can get another sew-in? How do you feel about dry shampoo for silk presses? You use them, Rochelle. Use them, Rochelle. If Rochelle gets a sew-in today and she keeps her sew-in in for 6 weeks, when is the next time Rochelle can get another sew-in? I don't know is a totally acceptable answer, Ryan. I don't expect you to know it all. Rochelle, any idea? If Jocelyn got braids today and she kept her braids in for 4 weeks, when is the next time Jocelyn can get braids again? Christina says every 3 months. Jocelyn says, I don't know. Rochelle, Rachel, Natalie, Chanel, 2 weeks after. Okay, you can do your protective styles back to back. So long as there's nothing wrong with your edges, you can get your protective styles back to back, and then you have to give your hair a break. And a break could look like 2 to 3 weeks, excuse me. Okay, so if Rachel got a sew in today and she kept her sew in for 6 weeks, she can get another sew in so long as there's nothing wrong with her edges. Right? So long as there's nothing wrong with her edges, she doesn't have breakage all over the place, and her hair is her hair is healthy, even relatively healthy. She can go back into that protective style for another 6 weeks, and then how long does her break have to be before she goes into another protective style? Jocelyn can get her braids back to back. Rochelle can do her sewing back to back, and then how long does her break have to be before she goes back into a protective style? 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you, Jocelyn. Okay, here's why. The tension and the weight from braids in particular, the tension and the weight of braids and the Kanekalon hair, your scalp needs some time to restore and re-strengthen itself, right? And so a 2 to 3 week break makes it easier for your scalp to do that. Makes it easier, I'm sorry, makes it harder, excuse me, for an increase in shedding to happen. Okay. If you want to maintain the health of your hair, Rochelle, if you want to maintain the health of your hair, Jocelyn, when you go to do your protective style, should you be trimming your hair when you come out of that protective style or before you go in to that protective style? Hey, Ebony, Rochelle, Jocelyn, when you go to get your protective style, should you trim your hair before you go into braids, before you go into a sew-in, or should you wait until after your sew-in or braids to trim your hair? There we go. Rochelle, what I told y'all, could teach a class. Okay, Rochelle, could teach a class. And why do we trim before? I got a question. I got a question. When you got a swing, are you doing a silk press, right? When you got a swing, do you are you supposed to cut the ends before or after? When you are doing a silk press, Ebony, please rewrite that for me. Before. before you want to trim your hair before you go into a protective style, so that this way it makes it easier when you go to detangle your hair. You don't have a bunch of split ends that you're fighting up against. When you go to wash your hair, you don't have a bunch of split ends that you're fighting against. Now that Kanekalon hair be cutting our hair up. So imagine if you hadn't trimmed your ends, you have a bunch of split ends going into your protective style. You're just gonna wait until you come out of it. Imagine how much worse your split ends will be, excuse me, if you wait until after your protective style. Do your trimming before you get into your protective style. You're better able to maintain healthy hair during the protective style if the hair is healthy going in. There we go, Jocelyn. Boom. Boom. We did good, ladies. We did good, ladies. If you are ready, if you are okay, so we have our black magic oil that we talked about and our rose gold oil that we talked about. Yes. For moisture focused shampoos and conditioners, my favorites: Keracare Hydrating Detangling Shampoo, Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo. For conditioners, Joico's Moisture Recovery Conditioner. If you have a sew-in and you are using, and I'm sorry, if you have a sew-in and you're looking to use a moisture focused shampoo and conditioner, my suggestion is Hello Hydration by Herbal Essence. If you are looking for protein focused shampoos and conditioners, your protein focused shampoos and conditioners that I suggest are AG, the Vita C. AG is the brand name, Vita C is the product name. Sexy Hair's Sexy Strong Hair. Sexy Hair is the brand name, Sexy Strong Hair is the product name. When we're talking about leave-in conditioners for moisture, my favorite, the It's a 10 Miracle Leave-In Conditioner. For protein, one of my favorites is the Chi Keratin Mist. So I got a question then. Okay, for a silk press, how much do you charge for a silk press for real? My service price for a silk press in New York City is different from what it was from the price of state, but at the new location, the service price for a silk press is $200. If we are talking about moisture, if we are talking about moisture being a way to maintain healthy hair, and I'm encouraging you to use an oil. When you go to use your rose gold oil on the ends of your hair, how often are you going to be applying your rose gold oil on the ends of your hair? The importance of using an oil versus water or a water-based product is because the oil is going to last longer in terms of moisture retention. But how often should you be using your rose gold oil? Oh, how much should you charge for a silk press? Are you a junior stylist or have you been a stylist for a long time, Ebony? Once a week, every 7 to 10 days. Thank you, Jocelyn. Every 7 to 10 days. When we talk about the black magic oil or the BMO on your scalp, how often, Jocelyn, is it suggested that you use this? Do you use this black magic oil every day? Excellent, Rochelle. Ebony, tell me, are you a junior stylist or have you been a stylist for a long time? How often do you use your black magic oil on your scalp to help feed your scalp? Every day? Christina, you can't just piggyback off Rochelle's answer, girl. Are we using our black magic, or are we applying our black magic oil to our scalp every day? Thank you, Juanita. Once or twice a week. Okay. Anything that you have to do to your hair every single day, something is wrong. Hey, Linda. I've said this before, but if a brand asks you to apply their oil or serum to that and it's not prescribed that you use it every single day, something is wrong. You should not be doing every day an oil to your scalp. Unless it's prescribed to you that way, you should not be doing an oil to your scalp every single day. Okay. Again, these products for the ends of your hair and to feed your scalp, you can find at www.texturepress.com. Are you ready for our guide? If you're ready for your guide, put your hand up in the comments, please. And y'all better make sure your hands is not white. Okay. If you're ready for your guide, put your hand up, please. If you're ready for your guide, put your hand up, please. Hey, Christina. Christina, what you saying no to? If you're ready for your guide, put your hand up, please. Sorry, I missed. What was the two protein leave-in conditions you suggested? I only suggested one. The chi keratin mist. Simone. Rochelle, you ready for your guide? Rochelle, I'm surprised you don't have this already. B, you ready for your guide? B, you been here this whole time? You've been quiet, girl. Jocelyn, I'm sure you have this already. Chiquita, a tan one is better than a white one. Latasha. Y'all see Latasha? Hey, Miss 911. Y'all see Latasha? Latasha, why your hands so white? Is you in enemy territory, girl? All right, Natalie. Thank you. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to text the word winter. Text winter to 347 802 0953 for your guide. Okay. I am asking you, even in the wintertime, to make sure that you are using both moisture and protein. Okay. So what you're going to do to get a guide on what that should look like. Now I'm gonna get it again. To get some insight on what that should look like using both moisture and protein, you're going to text the word winter to 347 802 0953. And please come back and let me know that you got it. Text the word winter to 347 802 0953 so that this way you can get your guide. And then once you get your guide, do me a favor, please come back and let me know. So then, Shakia, if you don't have a real winter, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's cold where you are, but it could mean that it's dry where you are, right? That the environment is dry where you are. If that is the case for you, okay, so then Shakita, you wait. We have another guide that's going to be dropping for spring and summer, so you can get that guide for spring and summer. Okay, E got hers. Shakita, you got it. You got it anyway. Rochelle, you got yours? Did you have it already, Rochelle? I feel like you had it already. Natalie, you got yours? Natalie, what did we talk about? What did we talk about at the beginning of class? When you get this guide, what are you supposed to do with the guide? You're welcome, Aletha. When you get this guide, Natalie, what you supposed to do with the guide, Natalie? You got yours, Juanita? Perfect. Rochelle, you didn't have it already? Oh, you didn't. Alexis, you got yours? Thank you, Natalie. Perfect, Linda. Natalie, what we finna do with this guide? We finna use this guide. Okay? Okay? It's broken down by hair type, right? So if you have fine hair, medium hair, coarse hair, there is a suggestion on what wash day should look like in a month for you right there. So somebody asked earlier how often they should be shampooing and conditioning their hair. Perfect, B. Somebody asked earlier how often they should be shampooing and conditioning their hair. That is also in the guide. Okay? Thank you, Rochelle. And where do you go? Where do you go should you need a product to help stimulate your follicles? What's the address? What's the address? Should you need to be using a product to help stimulate your follicles, to feed your scalp, to help encourage growth, right? So we feel more accomplished. There we go, Brooke. I was trying to think of your name earlier. Well, just a second ago. Should you need a product that helps should you need a product that helps feed your scalp, where do you go? It's on the screen. Now, Instagram should not get this wrong. It's on the screen. Thank you. Texturepress.com. Thank you, Rochelle. www.texturepress.com. Should you want to retain length, right, and maintain your hair's moisture, especially at the ends where it's more fragile and older, I know that's right, Rochelle. The same website can get you your rose gold oil. Now, currently, a lot of these products uh, are sold out. But what you'll be able to do when we get off of this live is pre-order, and they will ship February 12th. Okay. Okay. Did we learn something new today? Girl, we've been on here. I said hour. I do it every time. I do it to myself. I don't even know why I get mad. Don't even know why I get mad, V. That's our job right now, V. We all we got, girl. Ain't it right? We all we got. Whatever God given talent you have, whatever it is that comes easiest to you to do, Valerie, okay? Give it to the world. Your community first, give it to the world, okay? What God made it easy for you to do, share it with the world. We all we got, okay? Rochelle said, I be learning every time. I know that's right. Yes, the ashwagandha, the magnesium. Don't sleep on drinking out that copper, because I'm finna get me a copper canister. Okay? Yeah, Shakira, come chill with us. You could teach the class sometimes. Shit. I could just sit and be quiet. All right. Ladies and gents. Okay. Uh my team is gonna kill me if I don't do this. Okay. If you learned a little, if you like this live a lot, hey Brooke, if you learned a little and you like this live a lot, do me a favor. In 2 weeks, we'll be going live again. We'll be doing this. We'll be talking about 2026 hair trends, color, cuts, copper. Yes, copper canisters to help reduce your hot flashes. Um, we'll be talking about 2026 trends, hair color, haircuts, hair accessories that I am loving for 2026. What the trends are, so that this way we can stay on top of speed. And if you want to indulge in a trend or two, how do we maintain the health of your hair while we do that? Okay. Okay. And if you, I'm appreciative for your time. If you are not home, get home safe. If you are home, stay safe. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.